Dr. Liz, how are you?
Shalom, Rav, how are you?
Baruch
Chodesh
Hashem.
Tov, Chodesh Tov, Rav.
How are
Chodesh Tov
you?
Mavarach, Baruch Hashem. Rav,
נכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה.
Amen. Rav, we have another nice, incredible miracle. I don't know if it's been reported because I don't think you get very good information about what's happening in Israel and South Africa, but the most amazing news, Javier Milei, who is the president of Argentina, is in Israel at the moment. And he was at the Kotel, and he was crying at the Kotel, and he met with Netanyahu, with the prime minister. He met with the president. He actually went with the president to the south to see what Hamas had done. You know, the terrible atrocities that Hamas had perpetrated, and he's decided to move the embassy from the Argentinian embassy to Jerusalem. It is miracles upon miracles. His very close friend is Chabad. He's a rabbi, and he wants to make him the Argentinian ambassador to Israel. His close Chabad friend and ally. And this is just unbelievable that the president of Argentina is so Zioni. He's so Zionistic. His heart is with the Jewish people. He loves Israel. He loves Judaism. It's just incredible, and to see him crying at the Kotel, it's so heartwarming in these special and difficult times. So I'll just mention, and I'm sure this has been reported because they report all the opposite, what was happening. There was a hostage deal that was, they really worked out in Qatar with Egypt and America and Israel and
You wait until it opens,
Qatar.
Getting struck while the arm's hot. Up to you.
Okay.
Wait, one second. I'm going to
they
mute.
sent out the link early. So yeah, send the link early.
Okay, בסדר, one second. Louis, I need you to fetch, you're going to be the Baal Koreh tonight, okay? Because Jeffrey sent me a message and I forget to phone you that he can't join tonight. Sorry about it, Dr. Liz. Please continue.
Not at all. So there was this hostage deal. It was going to be there where they had released the hostages. Unfortunately, we've heard only yesterday that about, I think it's over 20 of the hostages have been confirmed to have been killed in Gaza. So the amount is getting less and less. And there's a tremendous urgency. And we waited a week to get the reply from the external and the internal Hamas so-called leadership. And now they've put new demands, which are outrageous. It's actually, if Israel would access to these demands, there'd be like no more Israel. It's like the end of Israel. So, so Israel said we'll go with the original proposal, not their new unacceptable demands. And the world media, if you look at how the world media have reported this, they say Israel is rejecting the new hostage proposals. Not that Hamas has given the most incredible, ludicrous, and unrealistic proposals. They're just blaming Israel now for rejecting these suicidal new proposals. And what's even more unbelievable, Rav, is Ismail Haniyeh, who is in Qatar living in, I think, a 5-star hotel with they say millions in the bank. His sister just gave birth to a baby in Soroka Hospital. His sister's married to a Bedouin, and she gave birth in Israel, his own sister, to a baby in an Israeli hospital. And what's even more incredible, in 2014, 10 years ago, his daughter was treated at Ichilov. Can you believe it? What Israel only does, we treat, we save, and look how we are repaid with mutilations and rapes and the worst possible atrocities by Hamas. But their leadership, their own families are treated in Israeli hospitals. It's lo yuman, the word, it's just unbelievable. But Rav, I want to leave you with an amazing thing that happened to me this evening. Oh, there's just a car here. I'm outside because I went to visit I'll just go to quite a place. I went to visit a Holocaust survivor, Sarah Goodman. And Sarah Goodman they fled from Germany when it was Kristallnacht, and the parents sent her and her sister to Antwerp as little girls. And eventually they went to Cuba. They managed to get to Cuba and then to the States. And unfortunately, her grandson was killed in Gaza. It's so sad. I have a few patients whose grandchildren were killed in Gaza. And she asked me if I could come over because I phoned her to wish her Chaim Arukim, and I wanted to come visit her. And she said she'd like to speak about it on video. So we made a video tonight. And she said the most amazing thing. She said at the Levy, her son-in-law and her daughter said, "We want to thank you, Emma, for bringing us to Israel. We have no regrets, even though their dear son, Yakir, he fell in battle. They said there's no other place we'd want to be." And this is what Am Yisrael is. So many people that have suffered so much. So I said to her, "Do you feel that this is another Holocaust?" She said, "It's not a Holocaust. There's a major difference. We are not defenseless. We've got our own country and we can fight back." And that's the difference. Whereas 80 years ago, we were totally defenseless and we couldn't fight back. She says, now we can fight back and we have our own country. So Rav, Baruch Hashem should just save us and should bring the hostages home safely. And we should have a Chodesh Tov and just Besorot Tovot.
Amen. Amen. Shukran. Thank you, Dr. Les, for all the update. Rabotai, this coming Shabbos, we're going to read Parashat Mishpatim. First of all, Rosh Chodesh Tov to everyone. I would like to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketia, Mordechai Ben Rahma, Tamar Bat Zeava, Eitan Ben Keren Vavishai Nae, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Yaakov Salomon Ben Farha. Also, I would like to dedicate the show in health of all of those soldiers that got injured, member of the security defense, member of the police, and all the Jews all over the world that need refuah shleima. Amongst them, Lior Bat Miriam, Nashenadi Ben Farha, Rav Moshe Ben Bahia Batia, Rav Moshe Ben Devora, Rav Shlomo Yehuda Ben Dalia, Rav Abraham Ben Marina, Devora Bat Esther, Sheina Keila Bat Hana, Mordechai David Ben Leah, Yehuda Hillel Ben Shulamit, Leah, Chaim Nachum Ben Pesa, Reza Cohen, Baruch Ben Sarah Hiena, Ahuva Kaden Bat Tali Esther, Leah Bat Rachel, Vepesach Yitzhak Ben Ela, Ayala Eden Bat Rivka. Please God, refuah shlema to them, ולכל עמו בית ישראל. We're going to read this Shabbos Parashat Mishpatim. Let's start. ואלה המשפטים אשר תשים לפניהם. בכבוד, Louis, unmute the microphone. Louis, don't forget to unmute your microphone. Louis, are you there? I can see Louis with us, but I don't know where he is. Louis? Don't know where is Louis. Hello, Louis. Okay, I think that Louis can hear us. Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah,
Yes.
Shirkoah, Louis.
I
Yes.
couldn't get it unmuted.
Okay.
All right. Now there are the ordinance which thou shalt set before them. If you should.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Those are the law that you should put in the front of them. Ve'ele. Rashi HaKadosh asked a valid question. Rashi HaKadosh was Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, born in the city of Troyes in the north of France, 984 years ago. And Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki asked, tell me, what's the connection between our parsha that speak about the law, all different law, and the parsha before? The parsha before ended up, 4 days before the Mishpatim. 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 4 da regarding the law of the Mizbeach, the law of the altar. He said, what's the connection between the law that we're going to speak in our parsha to the previous parsha? Because always there is a connection between parsha to another parsha. He said the previous parsha ended up with the law of the Mizbeach, that you should don't build a Mizbeach from stone that you use steel with that. You don't build step to the altar. In this parsha, we're going to speak about law. What's the connection between them? So, on a pshat of the dvarim, but we have to develop it and to understand. Say Rashi HaKadosh, you know what's the connection between them? The connection between them, that the Mizbeach was at Bet HaMikdash. The Dayanim, the Sanhedrin, was also where? At Bet HaMikdash. The Mizbeach and the Dayanim, both of them was together where? At Bet HaMikdash. So that's the reason that the connection between them. But we have to understand that's the pshat of the dvarim. That means that the Sanhedrin is the Bet Din Gdola. They used to sit in Bet HaMikdash, and they should do the judgment where? In Bazara shel Bet HaMikdash. Okay? What is the Hidush? Say, I saw a beautiful Hidush that brought by Arav Chaim Cohen. Arav Chaim Cohen born in Syria, Aram Tzuba. They call it Aram Tzuba. It's Syria. And he asked a very valid question. He said, what is the connection? I don't understand. What's the connection between the Mishpatim, the law that we're going to learn in this parsha, to Bet HaMikdash, where the Sanhedrin sit? I say, I'll tell you what's the Hidush. The Torah here come to tell you something very important. That the person thinks that if he done Averot, he can bring his own Korban, he take it to Bet HaMikdash, and we know that the Korban doing atonement to his Averot. Rabbi Chaim Cohen, you know why the Torah tell you straight after the law of the Mizbeach, the proper law? It's come to teach you something very important, that you have to understand, very important. It says, ve'ele, and those, ve'ele, it's vav ha'chibur. Vav ha'chibur come to add up. What is it come to add up? It's come to tell you that before you're doing the korbanot, a person should know how to do the psak din. That means that the dayanim that's sitting in the Sanhedrin Gdola should know all the law. That means to teach us that the halacha, the law, the application that come with the law, it's very important to understand before we just bring in korbanot. And then it says, lifnehem, in the front of him. What does it come to teach us? I saw another beautiful commentary that brought by Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter. He was a Gur Rebbe. He born in Poland 177 years ago. And he wrote a book, Sfat Emet. And he said like this: in all fairness, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to reveal the children of Israel what's hiding the secret of the Mishpatim. What's the reason behind it? The reason behind every decision, the reason behind every judgment. Until the Almighty say to Moshe Rabbeinu, Asher tasim lifnehem. No, Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to explain to the children of Israel the reason behind every mishpat. What it means, every mishpat? Every law that you make, okay, every decision that you're going to take must be explanation why the Torah decided to do it. And I want you to go and to explain that to Israel. Okay? So what is it come to teach you? That the person should know the law, not just to learn Torah. But Hazal asked, I don't understand. And that's been asking also by the Sfat Emet. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu really didn't want to reveal the children of Israel the secret behind the decision of every mishpat? What was the application for it? What's so special about it? So I saw a beautiful commentary that wrote by the Hiddushei Arim, Sfat Emet, sorry, Hiddushei Arim, that was his father. And he said like this, he said that one of the reasons is that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to explain to them because they say, you know why we're doing it? Because we know the reason behind the law about it. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted the people that to do everything because that's the command of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Didn't want to explain to him what's hiding behind every mishpat, behind every decision, behind every law, every mitzvah, every positive, every negative, what's hiding behind it? So say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Moshe Rabbeinu, I know that you want them to do it for the sake that they believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bnei Israel does believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but I want you to teach them what's hiding behind it. That means that each one of us have to understand why, when the application comes, to understand the application of the law, what's hiding behind it. Another explanation that Hazal tell us, and Rabotai, that's very important for us to know, Hazal tell us that a person have, if he have, lo alenu, please God, none of us will have din Torah. But if a person have din Torah, he should go to Bet Din and not to go to a civil court. Why? Hazal say that if a person coming to din Torah, he should go to Bet Din Yafeh. He should choose a decent and a strong people that they dayanim tovim, talmidei haramim, that you, the same like you choose a good pair of shoes, you choose a good watch, you choose a good car, a good house. That's how you should choose also your Bet Din, okay? But he said that you have to understand that if a person, Has v'shalom, have a din Torah, and the other party doesn't want to come, we're talking about Jews, obviously not going. The other party said to him, no, I'm not interested. And the Bet Din can't do nothing. So then in that case, he doesn't have a choice. He has to take him to a civil court. The main reason that Hazal telling us that you should go dafka to din Torah, why dafka to go to Bet Din, to do it halachically, why it's so important? Hazal say that if people start going to a civil court, they will show, number one, that the civil court is has v'shalom better, they know better. Second of all, they show that they don't respect our law, the Jewish law. Therefore, Hazal say that the person that have a din Torah definitely has to go to where? To Bet Din Tzedek, a Bet Din Tzedek. Let's move on to verse 2. And here the Torah starts with the law. And look what the funny, what is the first law? Straight after they receive the Ten Commandments. Ki tikne eved ivri. 6 shanim ya'avod, ובשביעית יצא לחופשי חינם.
If those by a Hebrew servant 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th year he shall go out free for nothing.
Okay. We have to understand what's happening here. First of all, about Eved Ivri. What is Eved Ivri? Eved Ivri is a Jewish person that can be that he sold himself to become a slave, or that he stole. He stole, and he doesn't have money to pay. So he been caught, and he stole certain amount of money. Hello, Marky. Thank you for joining us. He stole certain amount of money, and he doesn't know how to pay it. He doesn't have the facility to pay it. Come the Torah and tell you, you're going to work as a slave to pay what you stole. Okay. Until here, briefly, what is Eved Ivri? It's 2 options. Come the Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, born in the city of Toledo in Spain 935 years ago. And he asked a fantastic question. He said, why the first law that we're learning after we receiving the Torah that we read last week, the first law, what do we learn? About the law of a Jewish slave. How come? What is so important? Say the Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra something very important. He say here the Torah come to teach us derech eretz. Derech eretz. Come to teach us modesty and derech eretz. The Torah come to teach us something very important. The Torah here is speaking about a Jewish slave, how to treat him, what is obligated. By the way, to tell you that a person, a Jewish person, that buy or take for himself a Jewish slave, Hazal say in a Gemara, Ki'ilu kana adon la'atzmo. It's like he have a master to himself. Why? Let me just give you a bit of introduction so you'll understand where we're going. Hazal say that if Mr. X have a Jewish slave, Mr. XX sleeping on the mattress, okay? Let's call that mattress solely orthopedic. He had to buy the same mattress to the slave. He drinking and eating cold drink and eating rice, the same thing he must give to his slave. He can't treat him less. So Hazal say, כל הקונה לעצמו עבד עברי, כאילו קנה אדון לעצמו. Say Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, I tell you why the Torah start with those laws. The Torah come to tell you that there is nothing more difficult to a human being to be in control of another person. That means a person don't love to be controlled by others. And now you're taking that person and you make him a slave, and there's certain law of a slave. It's so difficult for him that you're in control of him. Say Hazal like this. It's come to teach you something very important. It's come to teach you derech eretz, how to treat your fellow Jew, although that is a slave. Not only that, it's come to teach you that you should not behave with arrogance. Because the same like you sleeping on a certain mattress, okay? You eating certain food, you drinking certain drinks, you dressing with certain clothes, that's what you must make sure that you give them to your slave. To teach us two important things. Number one is derech eretz rabotai and arrogancy. And that's the hashivut of the dvarim. Another reason that brought that, say, the Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra. And he said that you have to understand that the derech eretz, it's not just that a person behave nicely when it's come to the law between him and the Almighty. Ben Adam lamakom. A person have to understand that when he have to have interaction with another human being, you have to know that you have to treat him with derech eretz. Although that is underneath your authority, because you now become his master, although so, you have to understand that the mitzvot ben adam lahavero is still applicable. Although that he is maybe a slave, but the mitzvah of ben adam lahavero is still applicable. Hazal say. And that's what it's come to teach us. Ki tikne eved ivri. That when you buy yourself a slave, you must understand that you have to treat him with the eretz, number one, and number two, to teach you not to be arrogant. Let's go to verse 6. And in verse 6, we see something very strange that the Torah tells us about Eved Ivri. That the Torah tells us like this, והגישו אדוניו אל האלוהים, והגישו אל הדלת, או אל המזוזה, ורצה אדוניו את אוזנו במרצע, ועבדו לעולם. בכבוד, לואי.
Then his master shall bring him unto God, and shall bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
Okay, here the Torah tells us that if Eved Ivri, that for some reason, like his master, and he decides to stay a slave forever, the master should take him to the doorpost, okay, and to pierce his ears, okay? What kind of a law is that? Why, question number one, why do you have to pierce his ears? Question number two, why by the doorpost? Why do you have to do all of those? Say, the Mefarshim explains something important. Here come the Hidushei Harim that I mentioned earlier. Hidushei Harim, Harim is Rashi Tevot, Rabbeinu Yitzhak Meir Alter. Arav Rabbi Meir Yitzhak Alter. Okay, he born in Poland also. He was the first Guru Rebbe. He born around 225 years ago. And he says something important. He said like this, and I will explain what he said. אם שומעים ולא מקיימים, okay, עדיף לא לשמוע מההתחלה. What does it mean? He say, if a person doesn't do what he hear, okay, it's better not to hear at all. What does he try to tell us? He tell us like this. He say that this slave stood on Mount Sinai. We all stood in Mount Sinai. Yes, we all. Our spark of when Neshama stood on Mount Sinai. Say Hazal like this. Say, I'll tell you what happened. That person heard the law that you should not steal. And he's still gone and stole. In that case, take that ears that heard the mitzvah, the negative command, put that ear in a doorpost and pierce it. Why? Because if you hear and you don't fulfill the mitzvot, so why did you hear it? He come to tell you, in that case, I'm going to pierce your ears. Okay, where? Dafka your ears. Why? Because your ear heard the 10 Commandments. But why dafka by the doorpost? Here comes the second question that we ask. Why dafka by the doorpost? You have to take the Jewish slave and to pierce his ears. What's the hashivut? What is the importance? He say, Rabotai, something important. And here we're going to bring Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. And he actually bring the Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin on page 22, folio 2. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty say, כאשר הוא פסח על דלתות בני ישראל במצרים, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu passed over the house, the doors of the children of Israel in Egypt, why did he done it? He done it that each children of Israel going to be free, that you're not going to have masters, like there's no more people that going to be in charge of you. Like say, like we mentioned, that said by Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra, that it's the most difficult that other person like you is in control of you. He said, but that person that saw that we smudged the doorpost with blood, he saw it. But at those saw that he saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us from slavery to freedom, and we become free nation with no people in charge about us, no more slavery. He wanted us to stay a slave. What should we do? We take him with his ears that he hear, Lo yeh lecha elokim acherim, and you should not have other God, take his ears where you should pierce it, on the same place that the children of Israel smudge the blood of the lamb, to teach you that here, how important is it that the Jewish person should stay free and not become a slave? And that's the Hidush here. Say Rashi HaKadosh, according to the Gemara, Rabotai, I repeat, Masechet Kedushim 22, folio 2, that it's so important that the Torah tells us that that person that didn't want to be a slave, now you take him to the doorpost, okay? And you pierce his ears, dafka on the doorpost, and wherever he gonna, wherever he gonna be pierced, it's the same place that the blood of the lamb, you smarted on the doorpost, to remind them that you didn't want to be free man. I'm taking you back where I made you free. That means now I'm taking the citizenship as a free man. Let's go to verse 19. And in verse 19, the Torah speaks about the doctors. And let's see what the Torah tells us. Listen what it says. In chapter 21, verse 19. Okay, Louis. The Torah tells us like this. Im yakum v'hitalech b'chutz al mish'anto ve'nika amake rak shifto yiten v'rapo yirape.
If he rises again and walks abroad upon the staff, then he shall that spoke to him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and he shall cause him to be thoroughly healed.
Okay. So Chazal say that rapo yirape. What it mean rapo yirape? Rabotai, we have to understand what it mean rapo yirape. Rashi HaKadosh say shemipo nitna rishut, that we're learning from that word that say rapo yirape, that a doctor can cure a person. And we have to understand what it means a doctor can cure a person. The doctor, what else is he going to do if you're not going to cure a person? So the Mefarshim, I'm going to bring three different ideas, and from here we're going to develop it. Here there is certain doctors that think that they're above everyone. The Torah come and tell you, rapo yirape. That means that the doctor, first of all, have to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabotai, there is Tfilat Rambam, the prayer of the Rambam, that the doctor have to say every time before he open his practice. When he walk to his practice, he have to say Tfilat Rambam. And the Tfilat of the Rambam is very important because he was a doctor himself. To daven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give them the wisdom to make the right decision, to subscribe the proper medication. That's one idea. Another idea that brought by the Mefarshim, and they say like this, that you should daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that will send you a doctor that will prescribe the right medication. Not only that, that you should daven that this doctor going to be a shaliach, a good messenger from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's mean that when a person go to a doctor, he should daven that I'm going to the doctor because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you command me in your Torah that I should go to a doctor. Okay? But I want you to help me that the doctor that I'm going, he's going to be a good messenger, that he can say, give me the proper medication, that he will prescribe and diagnose exactly what I have. That's second opinion. There is a third opinion, and Hazal say, and it's brought by the Maharchu. Who was the Maharchu? Maharchu is Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital born in the city of Tzfat in Jerusalem, 479. What am I saying? 700. 479. While his main rabbi, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, the Ari Kadosh, that was his rabbi. He born in Jerusalem 488 years ago. Okay? So we see from here that was 9 years between them. And he wrote in his book, Etz Hadat Tov, and he said that the person always should daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send them refuah shlema. Why? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will cure him. And he explained like this. He said, I'll tell you what's the difference between a human being doctor and the Almighty. He said, a doctor, when he prescribes medicine to a person, he trying his best. But he's not sure, he can never tell if going to be side effect, okay, to that medication on a person that he's dealing with. That means that if the doctor prescribes a medication, obviously he's going to ask all the questions. But how is that going to affect the patient? He doesn't know. He said that you should daven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he will cure you. Because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu cure a person, there's no side effects. There's no pain. And that's what it says, Rapo Yerape. I'll bring another one, the fourth one, for idea, that Hazal say, what it mean, Rapo Yerape. Say Rashi HaKadosh, Mikan nitna reshut larofe lerapot. From here we learn that there is an obligation to go to a doctor, that the doctor can cure. Don't sit at home and think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna cure you. You're not such a righteous. You can daven, you can ask, but there's no guarantee. You're obligated to go to the doctor. What does it mean? It said that this is actually a message to the doctor themselves. Because there are certain doctors that they think that they're second to God. They're very arrogant. And they're going to tell the person, listen, they're going to tell the family, listen, this person doesn't have chance to live. That's the end of the days. And we hear about it. Non-stop we hear about those things. It's come to tell you that it's to teach the doctor not to try to be like God. God decides when someone will live, when someone going to die. You, as a doctor, got a permission to be a messenger of the Almighty, and you have to be a good messenger. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't give you the key to decide who's going to live, who's going to die. That's up to Hashem. Why am I saying key? Because Hazal in the Gemara say, Arba'a maftehot. There is 4 keys that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't give it to anyone. What is those keys? The key of Parnasa, that means, and the key of Tchiyat HaMetim, okay? Key of Yeluda, what does it mean? The first key is Parnasa. Parnasa, it's only from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeluda, that to give birth, is only from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tchiyat HaMetim, the resurrection of the dead. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will resurrect the dead. That he didn't give it to anyone. Say Hazal, don't try to take what not belong to you. You have to understand that there is very important thing. You are a messenger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not here to tell people if they're going to live or they're going to die. Your job is to encourage the family, to encourage the patient, to make sure that he's going to get life, not to take the life. There is different ideas, as we see here, what it means, Rapo Yerape. Be'ezrat Hashem on Shabbos, I try to develop that subject if I'm not going to forget, Be'ezrat Hashem. Let's move on to 21, to chapter 22. Chapter 22, Louis, verse 21. I'm skipping quite a bit because we've gone very slow. And look what it says in verse 21. Kol almana veyatom lo ta'anun. Bechavod, Louis. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. Notwithstanding, if he continues a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money.
Okay. Chapter 22, Louis, verse 21. 22, chapter 22, verse 21. I think that you wrote verse 21.
Sorry.
Yeah. Chapter 22.
Verse 1.
21, verse 21.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child.
On the Pshat of the Dvarim, the Torah tells us that we're not allowed to distress any human being, but specifically a widow or an orphan. And many of the Mefarshim say, what it means, kol almana, every widow. The Torah tells us here, kol almana veyatom lo ta'anun, every widow. What is the Hidush here? What does it mean, every widow? So on the Pshat of the Dvarim, any woman that she's a widow, you're not allowed to stress her. You're not allowed to stress anyone. Okay? But what is hiding behind the word called almana? The Rambam, the great eagle, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, he born in the city of Cordova. He born around 889 years ago. 889 years ago. And in his book, Yad HaZakah, in the Ilchot De'od, Perek Vav, Halacha Yud, he says something very, very important. He said that, you know what does it mean, kol almana, every widow? You have to be careful also with the widow of a king. Not just normal widow. If there is a king, okay, that he died, you have to be careful not to cause problem to the widow. What does it mean? That if the king have a horse, special horse, you don't give it to someone else to ride on it, because that's going to cause a lot of grief and a lot of distress to the queen. Although that the husband passed away, but that's going to cost a lot of pain. That's what does it mean? Lo ta'anun kol almana. That's one interpretation. Come the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, born in the city of Andripoli, or Andripolia of today, in Turkey. He born around 517 years ago. Listen what he said. He said that the Torah tells us that we're not allowed to distress anyone, to cause pain, to cause agony to any human being, especially to a widow and to an orphan. He said, you know why the Torah tells us that? I'll tell you. Because when you distress a normal human being, you cause him a pain. Okay. But when you distress a widow or an orphan, you actually cause them double agony. He said, you know why? I'll explain to you. Because the widow, if you distress her, she said, number one, she gets distressed because you offended her. But the second pain that she gets, that suddenly you remind her there's no one to protect her. Where is her husband to protect her? And the same applicable to orphan. He's saying in that case, you're not allowed to distress any Jew or any human being. But if you distress a widow or orphan, you cause them two pain. And that's why the verse after that, okay, in verse 22, it says, look, im ano te'ane oto, im tza'ok itza'ak elai, shamoa eshma et tza'akato. That means, here HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, everything in double, everything repeat himself. Louis, you want to read verse 22 also, please?
If thou afflicted them in any wise, or they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
I surely hear a cry. What does it mean? Im tza'ok, yitz'ak elai, shamo'a eshma. I will listen and I will hear. What does it mean? It's come to tell you that the punishment, say Rabbi Moshe Alsher, that when you, has v'shalom, distress a widow, distress an orphan, the punishment immediately gonna come back. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will strike you immediately. Why? Because you cause double pain. You cause pain that they can't defend themselves, not the orphan and not the widow. And that's what it means in Tza'ok, it's Akelai. Let's go to verse 24. Look at verse 24, something very interesting. Here we're talking about lending money, but we have to understand what's happening behind that verse. Im kesef talve et ami, et ha'ani. עמך לא תהיה לו כנושה, לא תשימון עליו נשך.
If thou lend money to any of my people, even to do the poor with thee, thou shalt not be to him as a creditor, neither shall you lay upon him interest.
Okay, so on a pshat of the dvarim, the Torah tells us if you lend money, listen to that, to a person or to a poor person, you should not take interest on pshat of the dvarim. Come Rabbi Yitzhak Don Abarbanel. Rabbi Yitzhak Don Abarbanel, born in the city of Lisbon in Portugal. He born 487 years ago, plus minus. And he said that the Torah tell you that if you lend money to a poor person, where did we learn that it's a permissible, okay? If you want, you can lend them money if you don't want. We know that you have to give tzedakah to the poor person. You're obligated. So why did the Torah say if? It's an obligation to give money to a poor person. So why did the Torah say if you lend them money? He said like this. Say Rabbi Yitzhak Don Abarbanel. Rabbi Yitzhak Don Abarbanel said that there's two cases that you have to lend it to the poor person, because the poor person doesn't want to take it. And if you're going to tell him, listen, I'm giving you the money, he's not going to take it. So say to him, okay, no problem, I'll lend it to you. Then he will take it. There is other situation, if it's matter of a lot of money that you want to give it to the poor person, and you say, listen, it's a lot of money, I can't give him so much, but I'm willing to lend it to him. And one day he'll pay me back, or he'll pay me slowly back. He said that in that condition, that's what the Torah speaks. You obligate to give a poor person tzedakah. But what the Torah says, if it's number one, to teach you something very important. If the poor person doesn't want to get it with no return. Number two, that if it's a big, huge amount of money, okay, lend it to him. Okay? And make obviously agreement. But what the Torah tell you after that, and that's the key here, lo tisimun alav neshech. What it mean neshech? Interest. That you should not lend your money, okay, with interest to a Jewish person. To a Gentile, a person allowed to lend money with interest. That's le'alacha. So what do you learn from here? You learn something very important. You learn that when a person lends money to a Jewish person, another Jewish person, not allowed to take interest from it. Not only that, even if it's a lot of money, not to take. Okay, I would like to move on to chapter 23. I would like to go to verse 9. Let's go 23:9. Here it says something very interesting. Look what it says. Here we're speaking about the convert, the foreigner. Listen what it says. וגר לא תלחץ, ואתם ידעתם את נפש הגר, כי גרים הייתם בארץ מצרים. בכבוד, לואי, unmute yourself.
And a stranger shall not oppress, for you know that the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Okay, here the Torah tells us, on a pshat of the dvarim, how much we have to be careful with the convert. How much we have to look after them. And look what it says. The Torah here warning us not to cause a grief, not to hurt a convert. But what is the major key here? Look what the Torah tells us. ואתם ידעתם את נפש הגר, because you know the soul of the convert. That's, there's a question to say, to ask. What soul the Torah telling us? The question that been asked is by the great Kabbalistic Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani. He born in the city of Modena, in the north of Italy. And he asked question, how we can feel the soul of the convert. Where did we know that soul of the convert, what the convert felt? Why? Because we were slave in Egypt. But we wasn't convert. We were slave, but we was never convert. And the convert, not necessary that he was a slave. So where's the connection? Said the Zera Shimshon something extraordinary. He said that let's go for the beginning of the creation. At the beginning of the creation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Adam and Hava not to eat from the tree of knowledge. They're not allowed to eat from the tree of knowledge. Once that Adam and Hava eaten from the tree of knowledge, they brought this to the world. What's happened? The snake convinced Hava. Not only that, Til Bazohama. Okay? Hazal say that when Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, after they left Mitzrayim, they arrived on Mount Sinai. When they arrived in Mount Sinai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought them to a level of Adam HaRishon before he sinned. Before Adam and Hava sinned from the tree of knowledge, eating from the tree of knowledge, say Hazal, that when Bnei Israel stood on Mount Sinai, when they received the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought them to that level. What is that level? That they will never have to die anymore. But we know that Het HaEgel, the Gondor Kav lo alenu, said that. But we have to understand here. There is certain converts that they never stood on Mount Sinai, as I'll say. What does it mean? That on Mount Sinai, they felt what you felt in Mount Sinai. When you received the Torah on Mount Sinai, there is certain converts receive that feeling that they're not going to die. But once that you was involved in a golden calf, you brought it on yourself back. What you brought on yourself back? This. He said the same thing, the convert feel. And Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, 146, folio 1, listen what Hazal tell us, that all of it caused by the Nahash, all of it caused by the snake, because he Hitil b'chava zo'ama. The impurity with Hava. It's come to tell you, now you can understand what the Torah said, that we can feel the soul of a convert. The same like when we stood on Mount Sinai, we got that special feeling. Our soul felt like we're never going to die anymore. Why? Because we received the Torah. That convert, although that he wasn't standing on Mount Sinai, they get that feeling. But in the moment that we collapse and we join the Erev Rav, the multination that made the golden calf, and we have a benefit from it that we enjoyed, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took that from us again, brought again the punishment of death. So when he took it from us, he took it also from the Gerim, from the converts. What's all the Hidush here? What is the Hidush? Say that you have to understand that the same like you was a convert in Egypt, said the guy, the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani. And you was a convert in a land that not belonged to you. And you felt the pain of the slavery, the harsh treatment of the Egyptian. You have to understand that you should have the same heart towards the convert. You should have the same feeling that you don't want to happen to you. You must have it for the convert. And Hazal, Hazal say, מה ששנוא עליך, אל תעשה לחברך. Whatever you hate, that you don't want people to do it for you, don't do it to your fellow friend. What is it? That whatever we don't want the feeling, heart feeling, or the people to harm or to hurt our feeling, don't do it to the convert. Because you was there and you felt that special neshama disappearing from you. He also felt it. If we summarize that verse, I see that the time running, and I might going to have to end up with that. I know that I prepare one more or two more, but I want to focus on that. As I said, that we have a mitzvah, ve'ahavta et hager, to love the convert. I made a special show about it a few years back. That we have to understand that there is four that belong to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The first one is the Levy. The Levy belong to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then come the Yatom, the orphan, Ha'almana. Ha'almana, it's the widow. And the fourth one, Hager. It's actually go like this: Hager, Yatom, Ve'almana, Ve'alevi. Usually the Ger come first, and I said the wrong way, from front to back, from back to front. Okay. Why is it so important that we should not cause any grief, any pain to the convert? And Hazal say that Has v'Shalom, if a Jewish person or married a convert and the husband or the wife always insulting the convert, the punishment is like a boomerang. It didn't finish to come out from the mouth, it's already hitting them back. You have to be careful how you treat a convert, as I'll tell us. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu understand their soul. They left everything behind. They left their house. They left, not only that they left their house, they left all their heritage behind. They left their family. They left everything that they believe on, and they have nothing. Now they're coming to you. They're coming under the wing of the Almighty. And you, instead of welcome them, Has v'Shalom, doing the opposite, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, these four that belong to me. If you hurt one of those four, you have direct deal with me. It's come to tell you how much we as Jews have to love the convert, how much we have to make sure that we're looking after the needs of the convert with everything. Not money, not necessarily money. Rabota, many people think money. No, they need sometimes support. Okay? A convert needs more support than a Jewish person. Why? And I'll explain. A Jewish person bought and grown up in a certain way of life. You know, he grown up, he's doing Kiddush, he have Pesach, he have Sukkot, he have Rosh Hashanah, he have Yom Kippur, and etc. He have Purim and Hanukkah, and etc. The Kohen never heard about it. And even if he heard about it, does he know what he's doing? No. It's come to tell you that you have to be so careful how you speak to them, how much attention you have to give them, and how much patience that we should show towards them. And has v'shalom, that person coming, and you cause them grief, it's a punishment. A punishment that there is no way that you can avoid it. Zakadosh Baruch Hu say, those four are mine. Amongst them is the convert. Because he has nothing in this world. He doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother. He doesn't have a brother, doesn't have any sibling. So who is he depends on? On you, on me. That we should make sure that we bring him under the wings of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to be very, very careful that when it's come to the convert, to understand, Atem yeda'atem et nefesh hager. You knew the soul of the ger. What does it feel? You have to understand, but both of you have the same soul. That both of you lost the immortal life. And that's how we should have derech eretz and unity towards converts, towards people that joining us under the wing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that if we treat not only the convert, every Jew, with the honor that he deserves, with the respect that he deserves, when we live in unity and peace, HaKadosh Baruch Hu then Be'ezrat Hashem will have mercy on us and all the Jewish people all over the world. Okay, and he'll say enough to all our tzoros that we sing today, every day new tzoros, and send us Messiah Tzidkenu speedily in our days. And we say, Mishenichnas Adar marbim besimcha. When the months of Adar coming on us, we should put extra joys. Rabotai, this year we have two Adarim, two Adar to be sameach, to be extra joy. Chazal tell us the months of Adar, it's a month of good luck. Chazal in Gemara, Masechet Ta'anit, Kaftet Amud Bet, 29, folio 2. Chazal say that if a person have discrepancy with a Gentile, in Adar he should go to court. Why? Because the star luck of the Jewish people now is shining in the world. So what do you what you learn from here? You learn something extraordinary. You learn that Dafka now in Adar we should do extra mitzvot. Now in Adar we should be in unity. We should love each other because we saw the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu performed in the time of Mordechai and Esther HaMalka. Mordechai a Yehudi and Esther HaMalka where? In Persia. Not for nothing, it's coming, all the situation that we're having all the problem with who? With Persia, with Iran. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say enough to all our tzoros, will return back those hostages, if they're alive, those that not alive, that can go to a Jewish grave It's very important that the Jewish have a grave. Not only that, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will return all our soldiers safely back to their family. And those that injured, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will heal them by Ezrat Hashem, and a merit of the month of Adar, and by Ezrat Hashem, that we should see great miracle, the same that HaKadosh Baruch Hu performed in a time of Mordechai and Esther. Amen, Keni Ratzon. Those of you that would like to ask questions, I will try and answer. Bechavod.
Rabbi?
Erev Tov. Chodesh Tov, Frank. How are you?
Baruch Hashem well. Baruch Hashem well.
Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Hello?
Anthony, 1 second. Let Frank, he was first. Bechavod, Frank. Sorry about it.
Okay. Rabbi, 2 questions I want to ask. Hello? When the Torah says, hello? When the Torah says, okay, that the first commandment Hashem gave us were about to treat slaves well. Wasn't it because we were slaves in Egypt and we knew what to be a slave was? So that's why that would be the first question. That we should treat.
Exactly. That we should learn how to treat, said the Even Ezra, because you knew how difficult it was when other one was in control of you. Like another human being like you, to be in control of you, that's the most difficult. And that's why I want you to learn how to have derech eretz with other people. Ben adam lachavero.
The second question is, when we say these gears, kairim, weren't they like when, I don't know how it happened, but there were a lot of lost sparks in the world. And these gears were those sparks, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so there's different interpretation. The Zohar HaKadosh explained what is a gerim. Gerim is someone that converts for the sake of heaven. Say Hazal, said the Zohar HaKadosh, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu came and offered his Torah to different nations. The majority didn't want the Torah, but was certain people that was minority, that they wanted to receive the Torah.
Okay.
But because the nation didn't get the Torah, they didn't receive the Torah. Say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you wanted my Torah, but because you was the minority, you didn't merit. I'll make sure that your spark will return back to the Jewish.
Yeah. Okay.
And from there is the opposite. When he offered it to Bnei Israel, was certain people say, no, I don't want it. Beseder, you didn't want, but the majority wanted. You're all going to receive the Torah, you're all going to be Jews. But that's what you see sometimes, lo alenu, that there is people that born Jewish, and then they change the religion. Lo alenu, said the Zohar HaKadosh.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yeah,
it's a bit depth, but you understand how it works. That's where all of those sparks go. You understand how it fit with the spark now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope I answer your question.
You did. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Anthony Bechavod. Anthony Bechavod.
Okay.
You can ask.
Who the 4 groups of people who are given who have to be treated especially carefully? Who are the 4 groups again of people?
Hager, the convert. Halevi, the Levite. The Levite is include the Kohanim. Don't worry, you include it on it. Okay, because you're Kohen. Hayatom, the orphan, and the widow. Widow is the Almana. Hager, Halevi, Hayatom, the Almana.
4 groups. Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, good. Any other question? Rabotai? No? Okay. In that case, I would like to wish all of you, first of all, to thank Louis for reading for us, to wish you all Rosh Chodesh Tov, Chodesh Adar Sameach to us and to all the Jews all over the world, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will show us miracle the same like he showed Mordechai and Esther and the Jewish people in Shushan, in Paras. We're going to see Be'ezrat Hashem the same miracle. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon in our day. Wish you all Shabbat Shalom, Rosh Chodesh Tov, to you, to your family, and to all of those that close to you. V'kol Amo Yisrael. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Thank you for Shabbos.
Shabbos.